Shalom. First and foremost, can give all praise, glory, and honor to
YAHAWAH, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, BaHashem, Kakadash.
double honor to the elder apostles of GreatMillstone who rule well. A salutation, much love. Yakim out there pushing on his word, truth and sincerity. Brothers from GreatMillstone Tampa, back with another video. It's pre-Passover. Well, today's the 14th day, okay, and that evening will be the 15th day, which when technically the Passover comes in. So we're just set, getting ready for the Passover Sabbath service, getting our minds ready. And Lord's will, something goes down tonight out here amongst these Egyptians, like the ancient Egypt. But we're just gonna hit on getting rid of the leaven. Not only are you supposed to get rid of the leaven out of your house, but you're supposed to get rid of it out of the house of the Lord and your body, your temple, so to say. So let's start in 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 6. Brother, want to grab that?
Yeah, I got you. 1 Corinthians 5 verse 6. It says, your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump?
Right, so if you have a little leaven, you still got leaven. Okay, and it's leavening the whole lump. You put a little bit of that leaven into into the wheat or whatever grain you were using. What would happen? It would rise, because you got unleavened bread and you got leavened bread. But a little leaven will make that bread rise, okay? And then it's leavened bread. But what? Somebody get when YAHAWASHI said, "Beware." Yep, get that, because you got leaven of the Pharisees, which we're gonna get into and expound on that, because that's what you got to get rid of.
Yeah. This is Matthew chapter 16, and Matthew 16. Is this it? It says hypocrisy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it is.
Luke, yeah.
It says it clear in Luke. Yeah. Luke chapter 12, verse 1. Luke 12 and 1. It says, in the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy.
Yeah, so the leaven is hypocrisy. And what were they being hypocrites about? Get a word. Well, let me see what's the next verse. There's another one. Where it says, do as they say, but not as they do. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because what? They were hypocrites. They would say, oh, they was all about the laws. They was all about the scripts, the prophets and the law and all this. But what? They were hypocrites. So that's why he said, beware of that leaven. So what? That goes into being a hearer of the word, and be a doer of the word and not a hearer also, in pursuing the book of James, right? Because that's where the hypocrisy came from. They were hypocrites. They would tell you to do this and tell you to do that and judge you according to the law, but then they themselves weren't doing it. So what? When it comes to what? Because obviously we can't keep the law now in 2022. We can't keep it perfectly. So what is that? Well, how can it translate to today? Well, here it is, you teaching on the highways and byways, but you yourself don't even hold yourself to that same standard that you telling other people about. Getting right, oh, get right, I'm gonna kill you, stop doing this, stop doing that. But you hear this, you a nigga when the camera's off, doing what you want to do. That's the leaven that you got to get rid of, which we're gonna get back into the Corinthians, but that was it on that verse, right? It was that's the point I want to go ahead though. You got it?
Okay.
Matthew 23.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Whoever got it.
Yeah. Okay. Mine is.
All right. Matthew 23 and verse 1 through verse 4. Matthew 23 verse 1. It says, then spake YAHAWASHI to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
Yeah, so remember, we just read in Luke that it said, beware the leaven of the Pharisees, okay? Because what? They were the ones in authority, so to say, amongst Israel, all right? They would go to the Romans and deal with them, or if you had beef, all right, what were they saying? They say, because that was the authority back then, the Pharisees, okay? The ones that ran the temple, okay? But there was priests, but just it did not every person that was a Pharisee was a Levite, because Paul was a Benjamin, and he was a Pharisee. So it's lumping them all in together. The ones that were running the show, so to say, the Pharisees, the ones that with the phylacteries, the head honcho, so to say. Look at what's his name? Caiaphas. This nigga lived in a temple, man. He had a palace. So that's like the higher echelon of Jake back then, which they're back here today, man, promoting themselves to be something when they're nothing. They deceive it themselves, though. But go ahead.
Verse 3, it says, all therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're gonna tell you about all. They're gonna quote the law to the damn it to your nosebleeds. They know the law back like the back of their hand. So observe what they're telling you. Go ahead.
That observe and do.
And do it because it's in the law. You're supposed to try to do it. We'll hear now 2,000 years later. Okay, it ain't so easy, but you're still supposed to strive for it. Go ahead.
But do not ye after their works.
Yeah, don't do after them because they're hypocrites. That's the leaven. Don't do after them, but listen to what they're saying because what they're saying is true. But they themselves are hypocrites. Okay, and that's what we're talking about. You need to get rid of that hypocrisy, man. You either serving the Lord or you're not. There's no in between, and what you say is what you better be doing. You telling somebody that they better not be eating pork, you better be that's the easy thing, basic thing. I'm using that as an example. You telling people out here not to be eating pork because the Most High gonna kill them. Your ass better not be eating chitlins and porks and all that shit, But it goes deeper than that, obviously. But that's the thing. You telling, that's what the scriptures say. Talk about taking the mote out of your eye, right? How you gonna tell somebody the next man this and that, but you doing the same thing, man? Go ahead.
Yeah, you chewing bubble gum that got
pork in it, right? While screaming at him, fucking piece of gum come flying out. Looking hypocrites, man. Go ahead, though.
For they say and do not. Verse 4, it says, for they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne.
Yeah, so here, where the fuck your fringes at, nigga? Hey, nigga, calm down. And then you got a music video with no fringes on. Like, come on, bro. Like, we supposed to wear fringes on our everything? You in the shower, you supposed to have your fringes on. You at work, where your fringes at? You working next to heavy machinery, you gotta wear fringes,
in your dreams.
Yeah, your dreams. You had a dream without fringes on, you going off. This is the hypocrisy, though. You see how, that's why YAHAWASHI said, do as they say, but not as they do, because these guys were outlandish, man. And it was unreasonable. So how much more when the Gentiles started coming in? You know what I'm saying? Here it is, the people that knew they were Jews wasn't even keeping the law. But the Gentiles were supposed to keep it perfectly. Come on, man. So how much more 2,000 years later, today in 2022, man? You got to tell them, of course. We tell them about the law, but that's not what's going to save you at the end of the day. To be realistic, it ain't. But faith will. The law of faith is going to, the law of YAHAWASHI, Go ahead, though. Got more?
Yeah. Just a little bit more on this verse. It says, for they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Because what they put the burden, or not the burden, but really that's what it said, right? The burden.
Yeah.
So they putting that on you, or the law. Oh, man, now you over here bugging out because you couldn't keep the law perfectly. But they themselves can't even keep it, man. They don't even bother to try to keep it perfectly. They just they making their outward appearance nice and shiny. Oh yeah, that cup is nice and clean. But inwardly they're disgusting, man. And that's that leaven. And you got in the Most High is purging it out. Okay? Because we're in always during the Passover time, man, the Lord purges out. There's a house cleaning. Yeah, that's getting rid of the leaven. That was it on that, right?
Yeah, that was it.
Let's go back to Corinthians.
Yeah. 1 Corinthians 5, in verse 6, it says, ye glorify is not good.
Glorying.
Slop, water. Your glorying is not good.
Right, so what were they glorying in? The law.
Yeah.
But they were hypocrites. We just read it. We just got three scriptures to prove that, man. What the leaven was, what they're glorying in. They're being hypocrites, though. They're telling you all this and do all, which if you can't see that, it's back things in foretime for our learning, right? It what has been done, roughly paraphrasing, you know, it's gonna come back. Everything is no, there's no new thing under the sun. You see the same thing happen today, man. Go ahead.
And it reads, know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump? Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened.
Right, so you gotta purge that leaven out, so you may become unleavened. All right, become a new lump. All right, you gotta separate that leaven, which is was one of the things, which mainly there is the hypocrisy, man. Which there's more, of course, leaven. Okay, but the one of the main ones, which YAHAWASHI specifically pointed out of the Pharisees, which were the leaders, was the hypocrisy. All this, oh yeah, this and that, but they were being demons behind the scene the whole time. See, everything's not written in the scriptures what the Pharisees were doing. And the book is not about them. But you know they were being demons, bro. They were taking advantage of their authority, you know, and so on and so forth. You know, rubbing elbows with the Romans, you know, being buddies with them, getting privileges over the commoner Israelite, but then coming down on them like, you gotta be perfect, nigga. What your friend is at? What, you know, all this nonsense. When the Lord was there, the Messiah was there to tell them that, look, this is not gonna save you. And he was keeping the law perfectly. He was telling you that. Because he still had to die, did he not? Did the Lord not be perfect and still had to go up on the cross? You know? Keep going up. Or somebody got precept? I saw somebody's. No? Okay,
now, I was just going to say this real quick too. In Matthew, the 23rd chapter. Later on throughout that chapter, it's like 5 or 6 verses where YAHAWASHI said, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, ye hypocrites. Yeah. So we'll say that. 1 Corinthians 5 and continue verse 7. It says, purge out therefore the old leaven.
Yeah, somebody get the word purge there in the 7th verse. Go ahead, though, finish that verse.
That ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Mashiach, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
There you go. The Lord himself was a sacrifice for us, man. And he was perfect. He was unleavened. Yeah. You know, he didn't have no leaven in him. As the man YAHAWASHI that walked this earth, born of a woman under the law, he was unleavened, perfect unleavened bread. That manna from heaven. But what? He still had to be sacrificed. So what makes you think that they're not perfect are any better, man? That's why I said glory not. Or your glorying is not good. Because you can't keep the law perfectly. So what are you glorying in? You know, that's boasting. You're boasting. You're not supposed to boast in the law. You're not supposed to boast in your what you think and what you do. You're supposed to boast in YAHAWASHI and YAHAWASHI, man. Our Lord and Savior.
Unleavened. All right. It says as a most. It says unfermented, free from leaven.
That's purge.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, purge. Or purge.
7 again. It's the word purge. It's, I'll spell it out. Ekathero.
G what?
G1570. It says to cleanse out, to clean thoroughly, to cleanse.
There you go, man. So hey, the Lord he does a house cleaning. We just said the Lord always do a house cleaning around this time, man. Because what you gotta purge or clean out that old leaven, and if that old leaven don't need to be around sometimes, man, or not at all. Period. You know, because what according to Exodus 12, you're supposed to get rid of the leaven out of your house, and this is the house of the Lord. So the Lord every year never fails, man. The Lord cleans, he purges out. You know, just like the movie The Purge. What they do? Get rid of the undesirables, let them go crazy. Well, you know, and the Lord does it through the Spirit. You know, dudes get out of here. Dudes start bugging out. All these wayward doctrines start coming out. You know, but what that trickles down all the way to yourself, man. Purging out. All right, go ahead, though. Quan, you go.
Yeah, verse 8. It says, can I just say this real quick? Just to back the brother up. The scriptures say, "Be followers of me, as I am of Mashiach, man." Okay, so we supposed to be following the Spirit. We supposed to be doing these things, man, daily. Well, I believe one of the brothers sent out that video of Elder Apostle Gabar going into feeding off of GMS Feed the Flock. All right, going into having that that Passover mind state daily, man. Which is what through the Spirit, amen. And we're supposed to be doing that daily, man. The scriptures say to be a living sacrifice. So we supposed to be rehearsing these things and doing this shit daily, man. I speak as a man, but because it's about effort, man. When it comes down to YAHAWASHI, man. Rehearsing, man. First Corinthians, verse.
Well, real quick, it says, because we just went into the word purge, it talked about cleaning, right? Well, the scriptures say, how shall a young man clean his? Well, somebody get it, Psalms 119 real quick, verse 9. Because let's see how you clean, how you purge out that leaven. We're going to find out if you didn't know. Well, now you know.
That's right.
Because this is how you cook. And again, somebody hold James on deck. All right? Because the word, this is the purging. The purging mechanism is the word. All right? The living waters. Go ahead. Got it? Psalms 119:9.
Psalms 119, verse 9.
I think it's 9.
Yeah. It says, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way.
Cleanse. Wasn't that one of the definitions in purge, cleanse? Well, let's see how you're supposed to purge that out or cleanse it out. Go ahead.
It says, by taking heed thereto according to thy word.
Taking heed. Somebody get the word there, heed, in the Hebrew. So you got to take heed to the word to cleanse or to purge out. Or it said, how shall a young man cleanse his ways, right? Well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to purge out the leaven? How are you going to cleanse yourself of the leaven? Get rid of the leaven. To become a new lump. Well, you got to take heed to the word. Go ahead. You got it? Go ahead. Heed.
The word says to keep, to guard, to observe, to give heed.
You're supposed to take, they use heed again, but observe. Go to the Strong's definition. What does that say?
It says to properly to hedge about as with thorns, to guard, generally, to protect, to attend to.
There you go, attend to. You're supposed to attend to this word. Observe it. Keep going.
To be ward, be circumspect.
Be circumspect. You circumspect of the word. What that was it?
A little bit more.
And then jump down to the lexicon, see what it says.
It says to take heed to self.
Take heed to self. You're supposed to take heed to yourself, because once the brother was talking about examining yourself daily. How you gonna examine yourself if you're not in the word? Because the word is gonna tell you when you need to examine. The world ain't gonna tell you that. The word is though. Go ahead.
It says the keeper of self, to mark, look narrowly, to observe.
Look merely. Go ahead.
To observe, to preserve, to regard.
Regard. You're supposed to regard the word, man. If you're not regarding the word, then you won't be cleansed or purged of the leaven. Go ahead.
It says to watch.
Because it's like because good Jacob will be very observant. There'll be read that last word or second word that you just read.
It says look narrowly, to observe, to preserve, to regard, to reserve, and I said to wait for and to watch.
Yeah, right. So Jacob do all those things when it comes to actual leaven. Jake reading every ingredient on the bottom. There's 300 things on there, and Jacob read them all. But when it comes to the leaven that you need to get at yourself, Jake won't even take the time to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's spiritual too, man. Remember, it's a balance. So you need to acknowledge the leaven within yourself. And if you say you don't have any leaven, you're a liar. Because if you got sin, then you got leaven. All right? If you're a man, then you got leaven in you. But you're supposed to purge it out the best you can every year or throughout the year. Because the only person that can say they ain't got no leaven, we just read it. YAHAWASHI. Go ahead, though.
Kind of lexicon. It says to keep, to watch, guard, in a narrower sense.
Yeah, in a narrow sense, man. Because in a narrow sense, you focus on something more. They call it tunnel vision when you're going fast. Because what? You focusing on that road, man. Jacob, do that on the back of the whatever the hell you buying this for these next coming days, but won't do that internally. Go ahead. I mean, that's pretty much the point. Yeah. Go ahead, Quan.
This is 1 Corinthians 5 and verse 8 again from the top. It says, therefore let us keep the feast
Start at 7 again. Start at 7, yeah. So we read it again.
Verse 7, 1 Corinthians, verse 5, chapter 5, verse 7. Purge out, therefore, the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened, for even Mashiach, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
And the word says sacrifice is a sidebar. It says it's slain for us. So the Lord, which is our Passover, because what, he is the Lamb. He had to be sacrificed even though he was unblemished, perfect. Okay? No leaven. No hypocrisy. He meant what he said and he said what he meant. He did what he did and he said what he did. You know? And it was all through the Heavenly Father that sent him to do it and to say it. So we have to come in that same mindset to do so likewise, man. To say what we mean and mean what we do.
That's right.
You know?
And better, brother. That's why I should say, take this bread and take this wine, you know, because it's my body, it's my blood. Okay, because the Lord is showing you that you partaking in it, man. And that's why Romans 8 chapter say we suffer with him. Okay, we're gonna be heirs with him, man. This is this solemn assembly serious, man. You know, we're partaking in the blood of the Lamb. Okay, we're partaking in the bread of life. Okay. So this is it's beautiful, but at the end of the day, man, if the Lord is not dealing with you, you're not gonna take this serious. You're not gonna see the benefit in it spiritually, man. You know, you're gonna look at it as a lamb dinner, man. But see, spiritual man, he know what time it is.
Spanky Club Spanky.
Yeah, spiritual man, he know that this is about YAHAWASHI, man. That's all. Dig deep into this thing, man, because it's about YAHAWASHI, man.
Because really, these guys that be doing all this nonsense, they're not sincere, bro, about the truth. Because if they were, they would know this was a solemn assembly.
That's right.
And when it's a solemn thing, there ain't no party in it. All right. Yeah, well, we'll drink some yayan and we'll watch some videos and talk amongst ourselves after the service is done and whatnot, and we do everything we gotta do. But we're not going to the club like that one movie, the club at one night at Roxbury. I go a night at the Roxbury. You go. And even Paul, the bar was going into that. The Passover ain't a club spanky, man. A night at Club Spanky. This isn't good times. We're not here to gyrate. We're not going to the club. We're gonna rent the club out after we eat the lamb, and we're gonna go get some bottle girls to bring us fucking $300 bottles with snakes and sparklers on them. That goes to show you're not sincere. You think this is look. I don't know what Passovers y'all thinking about, but we thinking about the first Passover and the last Passover, like the Apostle Bar was just expounding on video we just watched. The last true Passover was when YAHAWASHI was here. And what happened that night? They came and got him, beat the hell out of him that day. All right, because remember the night was when the Passover begun, and where they go? They went to Mount Olives. Was it Mount Olives, right? Or Gilgal. The stone, what they call it, translate the skull head or something like that. But they wasn't having a fiesta that night. They were sorrowful. Okay, they knew one man was gonna betray the Lord. All right, then they came to get the Lord while they was out there. It was pretty Gilgal. Somebody double check me. Gilgal, Golgotha. That's what it is. The water.
Face of the skull.
Face of the skull. So that's where they got him up. So it wasn't all good times. They weren't, square dancing, cha-cha slide and all that. Bottle girls. Matter of fact, they were amongst themselves. Right. They ate the lamb dinner and then they left and went to that mountain, man. To the and that's when YAHAWASHI had to deal with what he had to deal with. And they kept falling asleep. But hey, because it was that hour, his hour had come. And Lord's will, the hour comes out here, man, tonight. Lord wills the plagues turn up out here. Go ahead, though.
Oh, so that was the Garden of Gethsemane.
Garden of Gethsemane, kind of.
Oil press.
Oil press, yeah. Golgotha's where he got crucified, yep.
Place of the skull.
Yep. And the Mount Olives where they would go, they went before, but
seriousness of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point, man.
I got that word too, real quick, if I can, in the etymology, real quick. Solomon, mid 1400s, it says performed. By the word Solomon, it says performed with due religious ceremony or reverence.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we're doing. This is
This is a ceremony. This isn't yeah, it's a high holy day, but it's not a feast. I mean, technically, you could call it a feast day, but it's not like it's not like Purim. You know, this is a solemn day, man. This is a serious day. Cause what? This was when we left Egypt. All right, people weren't partying and gyrating in Egypt. Yeah, you know, you had the Josiah's Passover. Those are old times, man. That's when Israel was on top. Israel's at the bottom now, if y'all didn't know, just like they were in ancient Egypt. And look what happened when YAHAWASHI's Passover. Okay, guess what? They was at the bottom again. They wasn't having a good time. You know, there was probably some of the Israelites, such as the Pharisees, having a good Passover, getting down. You know, but not the men of the Lord. The men of the Lord knew that something serious was coming, man. The Lord Yahawashi kept repeating it to them. You know. But go ahead.
Yeah, it says sacred, devoted to religious observance, and that's Passover. Why is it? It's called a Pesach for a reason, man. You need to be passed over. You need a covering over you, man. You know, so that's not something to be taken lightly or as a joke, as a game. You know, okay, you need reverence, man. You need the Lord Yahawashi to be over you, man. You know, it says devoted to religious observance, also of a vow made under religious sanction, binding, annual, established, religiously fixed, ceremonial, traditional, whole. You know, that's pretty much it.
But finish that 1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians 5 and verse 8. It says, therefore let us keep the feast not with old leaven.
Yeah, and then the word there is actually holy day for feast. Go ahead.
Neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
We're supposed to keep this with sincerity and truth, man. Not as the old man. But the old man had to go to the club after this. Yeah, pop bottles with snakes and sparklers. Bitches walking around butt naked. Well, not butt, half damn near butt naked. All right, booty cheeks all out, tits all out. First of all, they ain't supposed to be around you. You know, unless you keep your Passover at your home with your family. You know, that's one thing, because that's how it was in ancient Egypt. But how many women was in Yahawashi's Passover? I mean, let's get it. Let's go to his Passover, man. All right. Let's find out if there was popping bottles and getting down, like Judge Joe Brown said. I mean, we can really get it out of any gospel, but I like the one I think it's in Matthew. Let me see here. There we go. I'll start here. This is Matthew 26. And I'll start at 17. Yep. It says, now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yahawashi, saying unto him, where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? Going to show you, they didn't have a great hall, or which the apostles have said that that's what they used to do. But now it's we don't need to do that, because that's not what Yahawashi did, man. Okay. It says, where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, go into the city to such a man and say unto him, the master saith, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. So Yahawashi sent forth his disciples to tell that man, hey, listen, Yahawashi, he said, it's the time. We're going to have the Passover here. Verse 19 says, and the disciples did as Yahawashi had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. All right, so they got the unleavened bread. They had the lamb ready to go. All right, they got the wine, the bitter herb. They was ready. They prepared the household. Verse 20. Now when the even was come, which is the sundown tonight, he sat down with the 12. I mean, who else he sat down with? There were no bitches, Verse 21, and they did eat. And he said, verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceedingly sorrowful, And began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? So the point is, they were sorrowful. It wasn't in a festivity, the spirit of festivity, man. Okay, mirth. They wasn't in mirth. Verse 23, and he answered and said, he that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe unto the man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. You know, and going into after that, Judas was scary doing what he had to do. But the point was established that he sat down with his 12. Even the man that they were hosting them was this. It is. I mean, maybe we can find out in the other gospels, but from what Matthew said, he didn't sit down with him. He said he sat down with his 12. So let's get it. Matter of fact, let's get it in all the gospels, man. Somebody get Mark 14:18. Luke 22:14, and John 13:21. Because they got the precepts here for you, you know. So who got Mark?
I got the one in John.
I got the one in Luke.
All right, so let's start with Luke.
Okay.
You got Luke. You got Luke? Yeah, go ahead. Go
So-
with Luke.
So Luke 22 and let's see.
Let's go 14 here.
I start at verse 14.
Or we'll read up a little bit, like 12 maybe.
Okay, around 11.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 11 it says, and ye shall say unto the good man of the house, the master saith unto thee, where is the guest chamber where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples?
They said the guest chambers. Yeah, well, listen, go ahead. I'll say it after. Go ahead.
Verse 12 it says, and he shall show you a large upper room furnished, there make ready.
There you go. So there was a guest room. I mean, when you have people over, there's a separate place for them. A guest room, a guest house, whatever. It said it's going to be upstairs, and it's going to be furnished already. And it was through the Spirit of the Lord. It was already set up for them to you know. That's why the Lord told them to go to that man. Go ahead, though.
Verse 13, and they went and found as he had said unto them, and they made ready the Passover.
Mm-hmm.
And when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him. And he said unto them, with desire, I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer.
Yeah, so he was saying, man, I wanted to eat this. This is gonna be, they call it the Last Supper, the painting, which is not biblical, but the Last Supper, but it was his last meal. Because he didn't eat after that. Remember, they ate that, and it wasn't a lamb dinner, okay? It was a solemn assembly, so he ate of the lamb, ate some unleavened bread, and drank some wine, and didn't eat after that. So Yahya, if you ever drank it, that should make you cotton mouth. And all he had was some lamb, all right, which we don't know how much lamb he ate, but nonetheless, and some chips, some tortilla chips, if you will, okay? And didn't eat for the next, as he's getting beaten, whipped, crown of thorns, okay, walking with a cross. He didn't eat or drink during that, other than the gall they gave him. Go ahead. Oh, that was pretty much the point. Get the one in. What you got? You got John.
John 13.
Okay, go ahead. And you got Mark. Okay.
St. John 13. You want me to start 21?
Yeah. Or you can read up a verse or two.
Okay.
21's the point, though.
Okay. St. John 13. And I'll start from verse 19. It says, "Now I tell you, red letter YAHAWASHI. Now I tell you before it come, that when it is come to pass, ye may believe that I am He."
They'll go up a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because John always got a little more detailed than the other gospels. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is it. John 13 verse 18. In the right top it says YAHAWASHI predicts his betrayal. It says, "I speak not of you all. I know whom I have chosen."
We'll go up a little more. Go like 14. 14.
Okay,
Try
14?
Yeah.
All right, bet. John 13 verse 14. "If I then, your Lord and Master, if I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example, that ye should do as I have done to you.
Mm-hmm.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him. If ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them.
And remember, because he said to do what he is doing, but then he told you not to do what the Pharisees were doing. Do as they say, not as they do. Okay? Because what? He's showing you what unleavened is. All right? Being unleavened. A new lump. Go ahead.
Verse 18, I speak not of you all.
And remember, the word is what cleanses you or purges you of that leaven, which is YAHAWASHI. Go ahead.
That's right. Verse 18, I speak not of you all. I know whom I have chosen. But that the scripture may be fulfilled, he that eateth bread with me have lifted up his heel against me. Now I tell you before it come, that when it is come to pass, ye may believe that I am he. Verily, showing that he's a prophet, showing that he's prophesying of what's getting ready to happen, man. Verse 20 says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that receiveth whomsoever I send receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. It's like in verse 21.
Actually, you know what, brothers? Start at the beginning. The first verse, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because like I said, John usually goes more specific, so we gotta go way up.
Bet. St. John 13, verse 1.
Because remember, he was there. John was there. You know, he got just a first-hand account. Go ahead, though.
John's.
And then we'll jump back down, you know.
St. John chapter 13, verse 1. Now, before the feast of the Passover, when YAHAWASHI knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own, which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. And supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. YAHAWASHI, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come from the Most High and went to the Most High, he riseth from supper and laid aside his garments and took a towel and girded himself. After that he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded.
Yep. So yeah, you can skip back down though to who girded him. You can finish that verse because you know that's what he was reading about in the verse. What was it 20 or 21? 19 when we were reading about it, but yeah. So because you know we wanted you to understand that this was after they finished eating, okay, the Passover. Go ahead.
Verse 20, it says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that receiveth whomsoever I send receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. When YAHAWASHI had thus said, he was troubled in spirit, and testified and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. Then the disciples looked on another, doubting of whom he spake. Now there was learning of YAHAWASHI.
There was leaning.
Salaki, I read that again. St. John 13, verse 23. Now there was leaning on YAHAWASHI's bosom one of his disciples whom YAHAWASHI loved.
There's John, the Revelator. Right?
Simon Peter therefore begged that he should ask who it should be of whom he spake.
That's the point. You know, going again, it was a sorrowful time, man. Even the disciples, they were on their toes. Like, oh shit, John's crying on him. You know, Peter's like, man, who is? You know, they all is it you? Is it you? You know, they're in a serious mode. They're not looking for bottle girls, man, or whatever the hell other people do in their Passovers. But go ahead and get that mark now. We'll see what that says. You know, because we just went through all those gospels just to see if any bitches was at the Passover. You know. Go ahead.
Yeah. Mark 14, start at verse 12. Mark 14, verse 12. It says, "In the first day of unleavened bread, when they killed the Passover, his disciples said unto him." Mark 14, verse 12, it says, "In the first day of unleavened bread."
The first day of unleavened bread, which would be what?
The 15th day, right?
Yeah.
15th day. Right?
Exactly. Yep. Passover.
Passover.
The first day of unleavened bread is the Passover. Go ahead.
Mark 14 and 12, in the first day of unleavened bread, when they killed the Passover, his disciples said unto him, "Where wilt thou that we go and prepare that thou mayest eat the Passover.
Mhm.
Verse 13, and he sendeth forth two of his disciples, and he saith unto them, Go ye into the city, and there shall meet you a man bring a pitcher of water, follow him. Verse 14, and wheresoever he shall go in, say ye to the good man of the house.
So that's how they were able to identify. The other gospels didn't say. He just told them they would meet this man. Now, so read that again. Now, this is the. That's why you got to read the gospels, man, and link it all together. Because now it's telling you how they were able to identify this man and how he already had a room ready that the Lord said he would have. And this is how they would identify him. Go ahead.
Hey, and can I say this too? To back you up, testimonies is what? Being a witness.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the gospels are pretty much witness accounts of men who were witnessing the acts of YAHAWASHI, man. You know, just in different accounts.
And you gotta link them together because this is what the police do. Everyone's story is gonna be different. Ain't no, if everyone's story is the exact same, it's a fucking lie.
Right.
There's no way everyone's story gonna be the same. We can all, us four could be witness a gunshot murder right here out the window. Guess what? We all gonna have certain things that are different. If we all say the same shit, it ain't true. So this is how you know that the gospels are true. Go ahead.
Yep. Mark 14, verse 13. And he said, and he sendeth forth two of his disciples, and saith unto them, Go ye into the city, and there shall meet you a man bearing a pitcher of water, follow him. And wheresoever he shall go in, say ye to the good man of the house, the master saith, Where is the guest chamber where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples?
Mm-hmm. So they saw the dude. They gotta be him. He carrying the only dude carrying a pitcher of water. Just follow him till he gets home. Okay. Go ahead.
Yep. Verse 15 it says, And he will shew you a large upper room furnished.
And you remember, these were Israelites, so he was willing to give them the upper room.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, all right, cool, yeah. Y'all can take that, yeah. Take the guest house or the guest room upstairs. Go ahead.
Yep. And he will shew you a large upper room furnished and prepared. There make ready for us.
So it was furnished. They had tables, seats, whatever it had, and all they had to do was get it ready for the Passover there. Go ahead.
Yep. Mark 14, verse 16. And his disciples went forth and came into the city and found as he had said unto them, and they made ready the Passover. Verse 17. He came, and in the evening he cometh with the 12.
So at the evening, Yahawashi showed up. So he sent two men to get it ready, and then with the rest of them, they all got together at evening. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Mark 14, verse 18. And as they sat and did eat, Yahawashi said, Verily I say unto you, one of you which eateth with me shall betray me.
Yeah, and that's the point again. Just the 12. So that was a sidebar for the lesson. But it's about the whole point of that was saying there was one amongst them that was leavened, and he told him go do what you got to do, and then that was a separation right there because he didn't join back in with them. He came back. Did what he had to do, was ashamed of what he had to do, and then ultimately he hung himself. But the point is getting rid of the leaven, man. Taking heed to the word. That's how you're gonna get rid of it, man. Which is YAHAWASHI. Taking heed to YAHAWASHI, which is our Passover, man. Which is our unleavened bread. Okay, which is the angel that protected us in the wilderness. A cloud by day and a pillar by night. The death angel that took out them Egyptians, man, firstborn. And guess what? He gonna be the one to do that all over again in a greater way. So, brothers, got any closing scriptures?
Yeah. This Colossians chapter 3. Oh, yeah, it's same song, bro. Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. It says, "Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is adultery." So mortify means to put to death. So that has to happen daily because we live in this flesh. So that's why it goes into it talks about Romans 8th chapter. If we live after the flesh, we're gonna die. But if we live after the spirit, mortify the deeds of the body, we're gonna live. And that's the war that we were involved in, is the spirit versus the flesh. But yeah, Colossians 3 verse 6 it says, for which things sake the wrath of the Most High cometh on the children of disobedience. So because of those things, which you just read, evil concupiscence, which is like, lustful pleasures, covetousness, we go into these words, fornication, that's why the wrath of the Lord's coming, the sinful nation, the Lord has his eyes upon, this kingdom here we see now, all right, the Lord's judgment place because of sins that reach up onto the heavens, so us knowing those things, which, well, I'll keep reading, Colossians 3 verse 7 says, in which ye also walked some time when ye lived in them, so we're not supposed to be mixing the truth with worldly things.
Yeah, which is that old
bruising Hellcats and stuff, making music videos and rapping about the scriptures. That's leaven, Yeah, that's hypocrisy. Here it is, you on the highways and byways, cursing out niggas for being niggas. And
telling them America's gonna be destroyed, but you telling Jake to get Hellcats and this and that.
Get a bag and shit.
Yeah. Make a record label, sell clothes, making merchandise of the Lord at the end of the day, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Colossians 3 verse 8, it says, but now you're also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Filthy communication. That's why it says in Ephesians 4th chapter, that we're supposed to put off the conversation concerning the old man, and which is corrupt and is according to deceitful lust.
It's leaven.
Yeah, exactly.
It builds up. A little of that, it builds up, man. It starts to filter the body.
Yeah, exactly, a little. It only takes a little of it.
Yeah.
And that's when it goes into really being renewed in your spirit. That's the new man that we strive to be. Following an example, being YAHAWASHI. That's right. Colossians chapter 3, verse 9 says, lie not one to another, seeing that you put off the old man with his deeds. And last one, I'll stop here. Verse 10, it says, and I put on the new man, which is renewed in the knowledge after the image of him that created him. So that the truth, that's supposed to push all that stuff away. That's why certain things you did in the world, it doesn't attract you no more, because you're not into it no more, because you're into the word, because you think about a cleaning agent, the cleaning agent is a spirit, all those nasty things we go into, which we fight daily, which, we're not perfect. Let's just say our righteousness has filthy rags, that's why it goes into being sorrowful, repentful, because we can't do it on our own, so knowing that mindset that we have to go to somebody, that takes humility, and Jake don't want to humble down. That's why he thinks he can save himself by the law. Ain't no miracles. Moses didn't part the Red Sea. What is this coming from? That's old man conversation, the lack of faith, ultimately these things bring, and you're pushing that out on people, and the Lord ultimately sees all these things, but that's pretty much the point, man, with 11,
Exactly, man. We'll close out on that, man. I don't want to make it too long. We'll probably get another one in here in a little bit when the rest of the brothers get here, but, hey, get rid of that 11, man. You can throw out all the bread in your house, and you the 11.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't examine yourself, you might have something you need to purge out, which, we ain't perfect. But hey, it's a day by day thing, man. Do better, be better. So, with that, Barak the YAHAWAH, Barak the YAHAWASHI, Barak the YAHAWAH, Barak the YAHAWASHI, Barak the YAHAWAH, Barak the YAHAWASHI, Call Allah YAHAWAH, Bashim YAHAWASHI. So with that, was willing is edifying and exhorting to the hopeful elect out there. Shalom.